The Princess Royal has sustained minor injuries and concussion following an accident on the Gatcombe Park estate on Sunday evening and remains in hospital for observation, Buckingham Palace has said. A palace spokesperson said Princess Anne is recovering well, is in a comfortable condition, and is being treated and kept in hospital as a precautionary measure for further observation. It is understood the princess was walking within the protected perimeter of Gatcombe Park estate when an incident occurred. She has suffered minor wounds to the head. The exact cause of the injuries is unconfirmed, but the princess's medical team has said that her head injuries were consistent with a potential impact from a horse's head or legs. Princess Royal, who is a hugely highly respected royal, is the latest in a series of members of the royal family, from Sarah, Duchess of York, to King Charles III and Kate, Princess of Wales, who've been known to be having medical treatment over recent months. A fundraiser set out by the last person to speak to Joe Slater, the teenager who went missing during a holiday in Tenerife, has hit its target of £30,000. The GoFundMe, created by Lucy Law to get Jay Slater home, has received almost £33,000 in donations on Monday morning, June 24th. The page was set up by Jay's friend just 3 days ago, and on a post it claims to be from Jay's mother, Lily Duncan, conferred it was approved by the family. Highs of up to 31 degrees Celsius have been forecast for this week as temperatures across the United Kingdom continue to rise. A yellow heat health alert has been issued by the UK Health Security Agency, UKHSA, and Met Office for most of England, with all but the North East included in the warning. The alert will come to force from Monday morning and remain in place until Thursday afternoon. Ian Esclade, a meteorologist at the Met Office, said on Monday that Monday would see mostly dry weather with plenty of sunny spells and a maximum temperature of 28 degrees Celsius. A British teenager with severe epilepsy has become the first person in the world to trial a revolutionary device implanted into his skull. Owen Knowlson from Somerset received surgery at Great Ormond Street Hospital after he experienced seizures that robbed him of his childhood, with often life-threatening instances. Owen, who has Lennox-Gastaut syndrome, a rare form of epilepsy, has struggled with these daily seizures since the age of 3. The Prime Minister Rishi Sunak said he was not aware of any other Tory candidates being investigated by the gambling watchdog and ruled out that he was facing the probe himself. Speaking to ITV News reporters and other reporters on Monday, the Prime Minister said, "I am not aware of any other candidates that they are looking into," after reports that more people with connections to the Prime Minister placed bets on the date of the election. He also revealed the Conservative Party is holding its own internal integrity inquiry into betting allegations. With the general election and also other events happening, one thing that isn't in the news as much at the moment is the war in Ukraine. And Ukraine-Russian war latest, Moscow vows to retaliate against the US after missile attack on Crimea. The Russian Defense Ministry has claimed Ukraine used US-provided weapons in a strike on Crimea yesterday, It killed at least 4 people and injured 151 more. Meanwhile, the European Union accession talks with Ukraine are approaching an irreplaceable blow for Vladimir Putin. The European Union will formally begin Ukrainian Ukrainian accession talks tomorrow, rejecting Russia's attempt to force its former Soviet neighbour not to join Western alliances. Vladimir Zelensky is expected to give a speech at the launch ceremony in what Ukraine's top official for Europe, Oleg Shatliff, described as a big day. Despite the war, the country would not be seeking special treatment during the negotiations, she said. Of course, we wish Ukraine all the very best indeed, not just in joining the European Union, but of course for this war to end and for peace, stability and freedom to be back for the people of Ukraine. I didn't actually say good evening this evening. I just went straight into it with some updates on news from the ITV News app, then onto the Sky News app. Today has been a very warm day, and we are, even though it's looking a bit miserable outside, we're still very, very close in here. Now, we are going to continue nightly right up until Friday, May 5th. So you'll put up with me for just 2 more weeks doing nightly updates, and then we'll see what will happen from there. It's important that we have some kind of content to bring to you each evening as well, not just me literally talking, but at least bringing some substance like I have done over the last couple of weeks. One thing I did say that I would do is actually, without actually saying any political party that I would support myself, is I would give you some policies or some things that I myself personally think should be brought into focus during the general election. There's one thing which has not been mentioned during this election, and that is the minimum or living wage. Now, there's spoken about taxes not being risen or there's something like that, but not actually said about if we're going to actually increase the minimum wage or the living wage, as they also call it. But I mean, there is a difference between a minimum wage, which is an hour, and then a living wage as to what we say should be what people are able to have. Tonight I'm going to give you a view on something there which I personally think would be a great advocate. One of them has already been done because the minimum wage has already gone over that particular threshold. But I have said for a good few years now that the tax threshold should be risen to £15,000. So that means that anyone that earns you've got to start earning £15,000 before you start paying any tax. I also said it would be absolutely fantastic if there was a minimum salary for anyone who's working full-time hours. It should be at least £20,000 more or more. Well, that has already reached that now with the minimum wage. So let's now say that they should raise that to £22,500 for anyone who's doing full-time hours or more. And that kind of salary should also be equated then into the actual minimum wage as well. So whatever £22,500 would be, then broken down, that should be the hourly wage for anybody who is of working age or more. Now, of course, if somebody has then been experienced and been working at a job for a good few years, those employers should be thinking, right, let's give those people a pay rise at least once a year, if not more, depending on what people do, and more bonuses as well for people. But these are things that should be being encouraged by the government. So a minimum salary of £22,500 a year, and a tax threshold where you don't start paying tax until you've started earning £15,000 or more. That's fair, because that way it gives people the opportunity to try and maybe get themselves out of a hole if they're not really working for a while, gives them the chance to get themselves somewhere. If they muck things up themselves after that, that's their own situation, but at least that way somebody is going to get onto an even keel. So tonight I'll give you something which I think should happen. Let's see. I'm not saying it is going to happen. Sometimes stranger things have happened when I've said things, but that is something that should happen. And then I'll give you some other ideas as well as to some important things that should be there as well for people over the coming nights, well, certainly before election day in just 10 days' time. Well, that's it for tonight. A bit shorter than normal. No music to come on to or to end tonight. But thank you very much indeed for joining us. It is Monday, June 24th, 2024. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. Take care and good night.